this was a big moment. I think it's like a watershed moment at Barstool, to be honest. I think there's a lot of implications with like the people who gamble and like the regular content people, the people who are going to be working in New York versus the people who are not. I think this is really going to like change the landscape of Barstool a little bit.
Are you ready for this?
All right, it's another edition of KFC Radio. It's our Monday Inside Barstool episode. We got to break down the Rico Bosco saga. You may have seen the clip of us earlier or late last week discussing it when we were interviewing with Large, but at that point we didn't know if the situation had gone fully public. We didn't know how much.
We're good soldiers. We're like Nazis. We're like until I knew it was public, I wasn't going to talk about it.
For real,
you guys made it public.
For real, let's now we'll talk about it. And that is
keep quiet. Dog.
That is part of it.
I'm telling you what's happening behind closed doors.
That actually is totally part of it, though. Is like, if people want to handle things internally, if you want to keep it in the clubhouse, we can do that. But certain circumstances arise, like you bring it to Dave, or you're involving outside Barstool people. If Cons and Rico handled that privately, I wouldn't come out today being like, no, Rico Bosco was a fucking scumbag and we need to punish him. It's like, no, they just handled their shit. That's fine. But he went to Dave with it, so it becomes public, and then that becomes, you got to comment on the content, and it involves a civilian, as we've been calling it, and so that feels like an entirely different, that changes everything. That makes it an entirely different situation that you have to approach from a completely different angle. When I did the high council with Dan and Dave, I learned that when the whole thing started, because when Rico scored the penalty kick,
I heard
at
that.
Cyber Monday, Connor said,
Great shot, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
It was a really nice shot.
And that's the essence of Rico. That should have been the moment where he stood there and clowned Nadeau and like basked in his glory, and instead was storming down out of the place because Khan said to him, "Nice shot, Terry." And he can't take when people uses his real name. If Khan's had not made that public, and
well, I guess even Cons didn't make it public. Cons told Dave. Which is
That's
making
what I
it
mean.
public.
So like either you don't make that public, or it's got to be like I have faith that you're not going to like do it again sort of thing.
Yeah.
And with Rico, it's like there really is
No faith.
No faith. No faith. And that's what it comes down. I guess I'm not articulating it well here. I guess my thought is like, I know I was so outspoken during that show with Dan and Dave, and I still absolutely feel the way I feel, but it's not out of like, I really don't think Rico's like dangerous.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he's gonna like come to the office and harm anybody. I think he's a wacko, and I think he had two really, really bad fuck ups, and that's, to say that, and then like if there's a third, we sound like idiots. But it's like, I don't think he's like a literal danger to people. I mean, it's hard to say that because then in my head I'm like, well, he was. But I guess my point, my feelings about it are more about like the hypocrisy that goes on, more so than the like, we need to keep the workplace safe and all that kind of shit.
Well, it's funny because I agree with you. And before we even get into anything, no, like Rico's gonna work here. That's it. It is. No one's calling for anyone's job. Rico's gonna work here.
I hate doing that too.
And
even if it's totally warranted, I don't like people getting fired. I don't want that on my conscience. Whatever.
He's gonna be an employee here. I will have nothing to do with him. That's because basically the fake insane beef Rico and I had, which, and by the way, as I'm saying that, like, I know it doesn't fucking matter at all. I'm not being like, oh, I won't fuck with Rico, thinking that matters at all. It doesn't matter.
He's gonna do what he's always done.
He'll do his gambling thing, and the people who associate will associate, and that'll be fine. That'll be their thing. It is that shit's a non-starter with me. I don't fucking deal with the fucking anonymous bullshit, because we deal with it a lot here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like
there's been numerous occasions. It's one of those things with me where it is like. We've referenced this a weird amount of times. The Dahmer scene, when he's fucking playing with the guts and he realizes, like, I have a fucked up brain.
Yeah.
Like, it is a problem for me to have. Like, you have a fucked up brain. I think if you do something like that where you're an anonymous person and you're attacking regular people, I think you are irredeemable as a person. I think there's something wrong with you. Like, sincerely, there's something wrong with you. I think you're a shitty person, and there's really no coming back from that with me.
Right. Unless you, radically change your brain. Like, if you, I don't know. Like, if you, there are people who, you're a murderer and you go to jail and you, rehabilitate yourself and you come out and then you're, an advocate and all that shit. Like, you can't say that you can't be, totally unfixable. But
I think you're pretty close to unfixable.
You think so?
If you're doing anonymous shit to because dude, you know what I want more than anything in the world? More than anything in the fucking world, man. I want a regular Instagram that I can just have with my friends. And I'm like, ugh, that's a whole new account, and I don't do it. So you're creating multiple accounts to just harass wives.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you. There's something genuinely fucking wrong with you.
And that was what I wanted to say. Now that I'm thinking more clearly. So to me, it was either.
Sorry. Fuck, we're going to be stepping over each other here because I think we have things we want to say.
Yeah.
So it's not going to segue well.
Yeah.
What I was...
Should we just start this over?
No. I let it get messy because it doesn't look rehearsed.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was when you were talking about, I don't think he's actually dangerous, I completely agree with that. This might be an old takes exposed. I got nothing about that. But I know third floor people because... they're the most dramatic assholes here.
Yeah.
We're sending texts to people being like,
yes.
should I be scared coming up? No, you fucking idiot. You should be scared to come to the office.
There's a couple people who should be afraid of Rico. The people that beef with him and he's not going to come in and harm anybody who's not, needling him and calling him Terry and all that kind of shit, because that's... those are the people he wants to kill. Is he a danger to Big T? Probably. I don't know.
Don't fuck with the person who's a psychopath and you'll be fine. Have you ever been out in public before?
but so that was kind of my second point was if it wasn't made public, or if this was just Barstool people, if this was just Rico fucking with cons, I don't have a problem. I mean, I have a problem with it. You're an asshole, but I'm not even wasting a minute of my time talking about it. It's the fact that it was... a family member and an outsider. And that needs to be crystal clear, because there's two elements to it. There's the hypocrisy kind of what Rico does and what his punishment should be. And then there's the way that Barstool is specifically handling it. And I think Dave sent an email to the whole company basically saying if he really thought that Rico was a true danger, he'd be gone, kind of what we're saying. If anything even happens or someone has a complaint or whatever, he will be gone. But this is what you signed up for with Barstool. This is, we basically set out to kind of create a reality TV show that's not a reality TV show. There is no scripted. There are no fabric. I know people think that this is fake, but I think by now you can tell it's as real as it gets. And when you sign up here, you kind of, are there any other reality shows that are really like that? You know what I mean? I do feel the Kardashians probably are all right, let's at least turn this into material or whatever. Yeah. Where it's truly just bad shit, real life bad shit happens, and we're gonna do it. It's gonna be a part of what we do and a part of our show and all that. So when you work at Barstool, there's a reason why 50,000 people were watching that live, and there's a reason why.
I do think you're saying an important thing here, where when you work at Barstool,
and that's why his wife is the problem.
I think that's what everyone says. It's 10 miles over the line.
As far as the other people being it's when people say well, if he was in any other place, he'd be fired. It's
yeah. Right. He's not in any other place though.
Kidding.
So who fucking
cares?
It's
like office jobs are different than professional sports locker rooms, are different than reality TV show sets, are different than blog media companies.
Yeah. If I went to work every day at a regular job at 11 a.m., I'd probably get fired.
Right. There's a million things that are different. But so that is a weird in between where it's we're acknowledging that it's way over the line, but I also feel Rico was still gonna work here. Because we're doing some real life Truman Show shit where it's just you put the cameras on, you put all these people under the roof, and you're gonna watch what happens. People are gonna get drunk, people are gonna fuck, people are gonna fight, people are gonna apparently harass other family members, and it's this is the madness that is Barstool. It's also why it's a $500 million company.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. It is I'm glad. It's entertaining to me. From an outside, I get it, 100%.
For sure.
I do not fault anyone, and there are parts that I laugh at where I'm this is fucking crazy. But I think it is important to hammer home there are people at Barstool who you laugh with, And then this goes to the world. And then people you laugh at. And Rico's very much a laugh atter. You know who laugh at are. It's Dave and Dan like to talk about their whack packs. The people in the whack pack you laugh at them.
Yes. Yes.
It's not really
they
don't really bring anything to the table other than mental illness, which is funny. Don't get me wrong, mental illness is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but if you look at the whack pack,
but when you have a whack pack of mentally ill people, it gets messy.
Take a look at Howard Stern's whack pack. Where are they?
A couple of sexual assaults, I imagine.
I'm sure.
A few jail stints, maybe a suicide or two in the mix,
and a couple people dead. Yeah. Yeah, some deaths, some jail, and some.
That's how it ends here, folks. That's how it ends. Why are we pretending it's gonna end any different way? That's how it ends here.
That's why I like when Kirk talked to us all those years ago on that TV right there, and he was like, "Oh no, this will end poorly. Yeah. This will end poorly. Like I will be, it will end. I will be angry. There will be a fight, and that's how this shit works when you sign up to be, one of those people. And the problem is when you're one of those people and you cannot admit it and you do not realize it.
I think that's the entire whack pack.
No. But yes, but like Jersey Jerry, I think understands exactly what the deal is and is just like happy to be.
Well, Jersey Jerry's way more mentally ill than I thought he was.
We'll talk about him and his army in a minute. I don't think. Oh boy. I don't think there is any other members of the whack pack that would hardball negotiate and think that they are more important than they are on the level of Rico.
I would agree with that. He had 3 presidencies though, so.
So that Dan and Dave's like main thing when I was. By the way, it's been great PR for me. all I had to do this week was have a completely rational human adult.
All I had to say was electronic harassment is bad, and people were like.
For real.
Electronic targeted anonymous harassment. Not a fan.
Not good.
It's like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. And the hypocrisy though. I mean, I do not think Dan and Dave like it registered to them at all that the two comparisons of Hank and Rhea and Marty and Rhea and Hank versus Rico were gonna be made and when you do that, it's completely hypocritical. And I know Dave stood by it. He was like, I still think those two things are bad. He didn't say equally as bad, but he was basically insinuating that. And that is just fucking lunacy.
Yeah.
And that is Dave, and you're not going to convince him otherwise.
I thought you, and I'm quite biased here, I thought you were far and away came up the best in that.
You can't buy
again. All you had to do was say, I think targeted harassment is bad. But Dave fucking cracked me up.
He was so funny sometimes.
Dude, he did when he said fucking. He's talking about Rico, and he says these two things like they're equal. And then like Dave said they probably are. When he goes, that's just Rico. He'll attack your wife, won't block. Bang bang. And I fucking lost it. Attack your wife, he won't block. Bang bang.
Bang bang. Bang bang. That's how Rico does it.
Mindbloom. Mindbloom is the leader in at-home ketamine therapy, offering a combination of science-backed medicine with clinician and guide support for people looking to improve their mental health and well-being. Mindbloom connects patients to licensed psychiatric clinicians to help. Oh God, I smoked clinicians there. People would have read that wrong. Not me though. Clinicians to help them achieve better outcomes with lower costs, greater convenience, and an artfully crafted experience. To begin, take Mindbloom's online assessment and schedule a video consult with a licensed clinician, nailed it again, to determine if Mindbloom is right for you. If approved, you'll discuss your health history and goals for mental health treatment with your clinician, to tailor your Mindbloom regimen. Mindbloom will send you a kit in the mail, complete with medicine, treatment materials, and tips for getting the most out of your experience. After only 2 sessions, 87% of Mindbloom clients reported improvements in depression. That's a very high number. 85% reported improvements in anxiety. It is time to enter the next chapter in mental health and well-being. Let Mindbloom guide you. Right now, Mindbloom is offering our listeners $100 off your first 6-session program when you sign up at mindbloom.com/KFC and use promo code KFC at checkout. Go to mindbloom.com/KFC, promo code KFC for $100 off your first 6-session program today. Mindbloom.com/KFC, promo code KFC.
I remember saying to him, I was like, you're vouching for this dude. You're putting the Dave Portnoy name and brand on the line for this guy. And I was like, you're going to put your whole reputation out there for Rico Bosco? And he goes, well, I don't like when you say it that way. Like, but that's kind of what's going on here, you maniacs. But that was their main thing. They said that they don't want to get fired. They don't want it on their conscience. Really, they don't want.
That was a thing that was hard for me to understand. Where they kept being like, he called me crying that he won't be able to provide for his family. Like, he quit for a raise. Yeah. So why would he not be able to provide for his family?
Well, now he's not getting any job of any kind. But I think that further proves the point that there never was like an accepted job offer.
I agree with that, but also like once you quit for a raise, I
can't have the sympathy.
It is. I know one other thing they said was like, what if it was someone from KS Radio who's like a side character, bro? If it came out that you were anonymously harassing people, not a side character, we would probably break up.
Did you see the mom? There was a teenage girl that had a cyberbully for a year, and she found out it was her own fucking mother.
Right.
I know why Dave's trying to say that, because I know, it's. I think it's easy, no matter who you are, to sit in the situation and decide what's black and white, what's wrong and right. But it's a smidge harder for Dan and Dave because they do have this history with him. Yeah. If anybody here did it, like, I cannot tell you how fast you would be gone. Because it's
fucking psycho.
Yeah, and this.
If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be you. Actually, not you, because you don't even use social media.
She's bad at it.
Yeah. Let me catch Colleen with a burner or something like that. But that's also because I have like a zero tolerance. Cannot take that. It's a trigger of mine and a hot button issue, and it should be for like everybody. If you haven't really gone through that, it's like. People are like, what do you do? Like send some tweets? It's like, dude, no. You do not understand
what it does.
Right. And maybe like
it is like, and that was actually something I wrote down because people it wasn't a lot, but there were people, which is actually a funny, nice little thing I've now tricked my brain into. Anyone who disagrees with you on the internet now, I'm like, that's fucking Rico.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yo, I've been getting some go fuck yourself, kill yourself DMs just because I said, you guys know therapy's free for us, right? Yeah. And I'm like, how am I getting go kill myself from this?
Every single time someone says anything mean to me, I'm like, all right, Rico's in his feelings right
now.
But a few of the responses I got were, one, people were comparing to you, which is fucking insane. Like we kind of have to address that because there were enough responses.
Bro.
Like that's the fact that people even conflate those two is fucking bananas.
People conflate everything with my affair and divorce. I mean, I've been compared to rapists and murderers and shit. So this is not even anything. Like me.
People are like, why did you quit? Why didn't I? What are you talking about? When again, like almost like the Marty and Rhea, like, why didn't I quit when two adults had a consensual relationship? I don't know. I'm never gonna quit for that.
I was unhappy in a marriage, didn't know how to handle it or get out of it. Made some choices that were then made public, and that's the same. So that's it. That's what happened, and that's the same as someone who chooses the wife of a coworker anonymously, tries to blow up their marriage. Like, in what world are those two things?
They're genuinely not.
I mean, it's just not even fucking. The only thing there are wives in both stories. Yeah. That's about it. There were two people who were wives, and that's really the only comparison. But I do know that people just say, well, in general, you don't get to speak about the moral high ground of anything anymore.
But I don't think you're taking the moral high ground. It's not a moral high ground to say murder is bad. It's not a moral high ground to say targeting fucking innocent civilians, and it sounds weird to say civilians, but that's really what people are not in this world. Targeting innocent civilians is bad.
If you want to take, you're going to take the other side of this argument against me because you don't like what happened with my marriage. Like, no, there's just a clear black and white, right and wrong. So it doesn't matter. Jeffrey Dahmer could tell you this. It's a fact.
I wouldn't have done that.
Jeffrey Dahmer would be like, that guy's an asshole.
Seems like a bridge too far, Rico.
But I mean, I throw my hands up. It will never stop. Like, I don't think there will ever be a time or a situation where people will not say, but you cheated on your wife. I don't think it'll ever stop. Yeah. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's been years. Everybody has moved on. Full families have, there is no end in sight. So I just continue I'm just going to continue to talk about situations.
Just started swallowing water towards the bottom of the ocean. Let's get this over with.
No, I will. But I'm always going to give my opinions on these things, and I will continue to be right, and you will continue to be stupid about your fucking equating of these two topics. But there was enough of those.
The other thing was, and you kind of said this with you don't understand unless you've been through it. Where people, some of the replies I got too were like, and this is minuscule. I think this is, if you're gonna put this to an internet poll, 90-10. Or if you put this, I know this is something that came up on the show too. Like if you put this in an office poll, 95-5. Yeah. Internet poll, I'll give it 90-10 because there are plenty of trolls who are gonna be like, this isn't wrong. Right?
Yeah.
But I got a lot of people being like, how are you surprised that people at Barstool have burners? I'm not surprised. I'm surprised at how they use them. And I've seen catfish before. I know how it's like a disease where you kind of get sucked into it. I don't fucking accept that. But I don't accept that. But I know when the burner shit came out, people were saying that it started as they were hyping themselves up, and then it kind of devolves into taking other people down.
Yeah.
And I think you're sick. I think you're a genuinely sick person.
Yeah.
And if you fall yourself into that, I don't know if there's something wrong with you. But people were like, how are you surprised about it? And then people were like, it's the internet. It's not real life. That does not work with me anymore.
Bro, that worked in 1994.
Dude, the internet is far the whole back in I remember in middle school being cyberbullying is not real, just don't go online. It's impossible now.
Right.
You have to be online.
I do love that one famous tweet that's just close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Yeah. But now we're at a point where it's
bro, we're talking about the metaverse. We're almost done with this world.
Yeah.
The internet is the real world.
Right.
The real world's fake world.
Yeah.
The internet's the real world.
That
now.
is true.
And people are like, oh, how can it be real if it's on the internet? Dude, if you haven't been through it, you don't understand.
You really don't.
It is fucking it's just not
and
good.
It's also
that's my best way to describe it. It's bad.
It is fucking it can absolutely ruin you and your psyche and your family and your friends. And it sounds like he probably sent a couple tweets or DMs or whatever to Alex and that's it. But who knows how many other people got messages? Who knows when you and this I guess opens up the discussion to the armies and the lieutenants and stuff. Jesus. So Jersey Jerry, when Dave described this, I did not think we were talking about real life. I could not believe
it's the internet. How could it be?
In reality, Rico Bosco went to Jersey Jerry and said, I need one of your guys. And Jerry went on Twitter and DM'd a guy saying, I have a job for you. And then that guy had the moral conscience and the wherewithal to say, I'm not going to do this. But that's all real. Those guys play Mafia. Those guys play Sopranos. They do make believe Tony Soprano.
I don't like texting with my fucking friends, let alone insane Barstool fans.
And that's what I very strongly, because Dave loves that. Dave thinks that's hilarious.
It is funny to laugh at. If we want to talk about it, it's mental illness and it's fucking insane.
I don't even know how fun. I get it. It's funny to be like, holy shit.
When I read that, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes. And that's
so
funny.
I'm technically laughing.
It's almost like your reaction is the funny part. If I saw other companies doing this, other people, I am mortified that this is a Barstool.
Yeah, these Bleacher Report fans.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The Bleacher Army sends out hits. I'd be like, you guys are fucking losers. So I got to keep it real. I think you're losers if you do that. And I talked to Jerry and I was like, I know that you're more. It's I hope a little more of a joke with Jerry, and he's a little bit more aware that it's more just about hyping up Jerry. But I think if you do that, if you're one of the leaders of it, if you are one of the participants of it, or if you think that that's really funny, if you're that's fucking really funny, you're a loser. I think that's straight up the biggest loser. You're playing. You're internet LARPing.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
It's fucking LARP online.
You're LARPing online. You're a bunch of fucking losers. And the real problem is, Jerry said, my guys know. And first of all, I can't even like when he says boot camp, did he like actually have like a training? He said my guys know to delete all
that would
messages.
be awesome if Jersey Jerry's army has more of a training than
Barstool's. It sounds like Jerry has more of a.
We don't even
like,
teach you how to blog here. Jersey Jerry's teaching you how to fucking act at boot camp.
So if that's
we hire you before you learn how to blog, and then we don't teach you.
The problem with that though is you cannot trust internet strangers to be in on the joke, especially the ones that are willing to be a part of internet mafias.
Yeah.
You know, like we always have this problem with Barstool fans where we don't send out the hit, but we have a problem with someone, we write a blog about it, talk about it on a podcast, and then those people go and attack. And that's been the age-old question. Are you responsible for your fans? Should you have to tell them to stop? What can you do to get them to stop? All that shit. And because every time they're not funny. They're too aggressive. They don't know what they're doing. You can't trust the randoms on the internet. And it sounds funny. We keep saying civilians, but it's like they're in this world. The people who are like
we're talking about an army. Yeah, if you're not in the army, you're a civilian. In this case, it works very well.
Yeah.
Earlier made it sound stupid.
Right.
Now
it makes sense. But like Jerry and anybody else doing this being like, no. Like my crew of internet weirdos are cool and know what's up. No, like one of them's going to take it too far and harass a wife or a kid or do something. You cannot trust anybody on the internet, let alone the people who are taking it that seriously. They will be out of line at some point, and then you are going to be responsible for them. I literally can't even wrap my mind around that one. Anybody being like, I'm in the Jersey Jerry army.
It is
like
just,
you wake up in the morning, you like check your phone to see if like you have
did the lieutenant reach out to me last night? Is there any wife I need to harass right now?
They've got to be like 15-year-old kids, right? They've got to be like children.
I would guess no. I would guess it's men with wives I don't like, and they're using a little surrogate and being like, you know what? I'll attack Khan's wife.
Probably attacking their own wives. I mean,
you're so goddamn weird. You're so fucking weird. And I never has Be Normal been more important than it has been in the last week.
It's been the motto, man. And
it's so hard at this company, but just be fucking normal. And like I don't know, don't you get sick of being laughed at? If you're one of the people who like we laugh at or not a laugh with her, if you're a sidekick or whatever, don't you get sick of that? We were talking about it with Hank. Well, I guess about Rico. Rico. That was the founding of the whole thing.
Yes.
Now Rico's just gonna be laughed at forever.
Well, that is the problem. You do get sick of it, and you either have to accept it for. So there's two things. It's like, are you good enough to not be laughed at? Because then you do what Hank did,
right? And
he like made a move and made it happen, and now he's like a rock star. If you're not good enough, you have to either accept that life and take the beating every day, and you're just happy to be in the locker room. It's like, do you want to be like the 12th man off the bench who all you got to do is like wash the socks of the starters, but you get to be on the team and you're happy? Then okay. Or if it drives you crazy and it hurts you and harms you and upsets you, then you fucking quit. Then you get out.
That is really like, I mean, there's a million points here. I think our main one is targeted harassment is bad. But
in our convoluted talk here, let's just keep on that message.
Just keep hammering that one home. Targeted harassment of civilians. But that is one of the you brought it up. I don't know how strongly you brought it up on the High Council meeting, but like Rico has been the number one avoider of this. Like it is the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
It has been. You can't call him Terry. You can't fucking mention his family. You can't do this because he doesn't want to have to deal with that shit.
And then he's one of the ones
bringing it to someone else's doorstep. By the way, bring it to someone else's doorstep who can rip your fucking head off.
Yeah, for real.
It is. Cons has been polite enough to not make this physical.
I mean,
Cons could fucking
break your back,
rip your throat out of your fucking neck, dude. That's not even anything to do with being in the army. Cons is just a thick, strong boy. For real.
Rico has been the only person, and I used to really like it. Like I feel like when I told the story about how Child Protective Services got called on me by some anonymous person, to this day I still don't know. I have a couple guesses of who it could be, if it was like an inside job or it could just be a
What
random.
if you found out that was an inside job? What would you do? What if you found out that was Rico? Throw him a blanket party?
I would. Yeah, for real. Like, I don't even know
if that was him.
I have never engaged in enough of that world to even know what I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I guess we talked about it the other day. Like, how many people would it take for you to call to kill somebody?
You find out
I
that
do.
day?
I have one guy I could call. I would call George, and I would be like, George, what are the options?
I need one of your guys.
Yeah.
Hey, George, Kevin Clancy here. I need one of your guys to carry out a hit for me.
If I found that out, I would be reduced to behaving like that. I mean, and then Rico would always come up to me and be like, I just don't ever want anything like that to happen to me and my family. And I'm like, and I was always like, because I think a lot of people like who heard that were like, wow, that's fucked up. And then they just like gloss over it. And it's just like part of, hey, that happens, you know? And Rico was actually the one guy who was always like, that is so fucking horrible. And I was like, thank you, man. Yeah, it really was. It was like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And he's one of them. He's fucking one of them.
And
I did see some
every
people,
time it's shocking, and every time it's always the way.
every time. It's always the homophobes are the gay guys, and you know, it's always the way. And I did see some people being like, well, he told you guys not to talk about his family, and like, look what you're doing. Now, obviously, at this point, that's insane. All bets are off. You don't get an ounce of grace from anybody anymore because you have, you know, completely.
I think he doesn't. I don't know because I don't talk to him. I don't know. I don't think. Maybe it does register. I know he was just like blogging on Friday like he was regular. I know, like when I tweeted like just like it's so goddamn weird, whatever. Like, I said something about it. I was inundated with texts from Barstool employees being like, "Thank you." Like,
oh my god! Again,
I don't think he realizes. I don't think Dave and Dan realize. Again, like they did their gambling thing. I will speak for the non-gamblers because I've talked to almost 100% of them. It's like you're dead.
When they said 60-40,
that was crazy.
They said 40%, 60% of the company would. No, they did say the majority. They said 60% of the company would want him gone, but 40% would keep him. That's the only reason.
But you brought up a good point where it's like, I don't know, like I don't want him fired because like I don't know, he's got kids and he cries a lot.
That's the thing.
But
that is the thing. People don't want to be responsible for him losing his job. They shouldn't have to be. And that's the problem. When shit like this happens, there are people who should be making the decisions and they carry that burden because they're fucking getting paid a shit ton, and you know that's not for the average. It
shouldn't be up to the part-time employee,
right? That's not your job. Is not to fire like your partner, you know, your colleague, because I don't want them deciding my fate. I don't want this. It's not their responsibility. It's not in their job description, and it also is like, every time somebody's gotten fired, it's a sad story. And there's, you know, it's a scary thing, and that's why you really try not to get fired. And that's why most people, when they get fired, are like, I got to get a job right away. And other people, you know, and they don't risk their fucking career for some dumb bullshit like this. Man, I don't know. You should have, you have about like 10 strikes. Okay, so you should have thought about your family every single time you fucking did had some of these antics.
Let's say 6, because I do not think Rico will live flawlessly. I do not think there will ever be like a fucking serious. I'm not scared coming to work. No. I'm not fucking any of that shit. I don't think anyone with a reasonable brain is. I do think there are some people. I think they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Let's say 6 months down the road, Rico fucking, I don't know. I call him Terry on a podcast, and he throws a can, and I don't want to say it's me. Who could it be? I don't know. Someone. Let's say Rico just does.
Joey Camasta.
Let's say Rico does something.
Joey would fucking murder.
Yeah. I don't even know what the example would be, because like I don't think it would be something as. I do not think there'll be any more violent outbursts, and I don't think there'll be any more. Now, actually, the anonymous shit's going to keep happening. That's going to keep happening.
When that's in your blood, like you just do that.
Yeah. Let's say that he gets caught again with a burner harassing a Barstool employee. Barstool employee works here. Zero tolerance policy. Is he gone or not, you think?
Well, I watched the video from over the summer where we threw around the term zero tolerance policy pretty heavy-handed when he threw the high noon can. And clearly there's a tolerance.
Yes.
There's like a 99% tolerance.
Okay.
So I think this has been enough of a public spectacle. I think that the high noon one was still like an in-house thing.
Yeah.
This was a big moment. I think it's like a watershed moment at Barstool, to be honest. I think there's a lot of implications with like the people who gamble and like the regular content people, the people who are going to be working in New York versus the people who are not. I think this is really going to like change the landscape of Barstool a little bit. I think this one was big enough that I think Dave would fire him out of like his reputation. Like I can't. I have to fire you now, or else I look like a complete asshole. And a lot of people think he looks like a complete asshole now. If he didn't, and something happens again, he would look like wide, huge, gaping asshole. Like, I mean, it's just impossible to let that happen again.
Shout out our folks over at Fitbod. Fitbod is not what I have, but we're going to work on it in the new year. Everyone's going to do it, okay? Building a workout routine shouldn't take hours of research, and keeping things challenging shouldn't mean buying even more gear. The Fitbod app creates a workout routine that adapts as you improve and uses the equipment you already have, okay? You don't have to go out to Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever place like that. You ever bought stuff at Dick's Sporting Goods and then you have to carry it back home? The worst workout in and of itself. So you can reach the next level without burning through all your free time or cash. Just add in your equipment, you pick a fitness goal, and Fitbod will create a routine for you. If you've never used an app to work out, it is like it's killing the personal trainer. The personal trainer is dead because the app does it all for you. It is so much easier and so much cheaper. Whether you've been missing gym time or you've hit a plateau, a fresh start has never been easier. The app switches up your exercises to avoid overtraining or burnout, and your program changes based on your personal progress for maximized results. A full year of Fitbod is less than the cost of a single session with a personal trainer. That's 365 days versus 1 day. Do the math. It's better to have the 365. Join Fitbod today and build a routine that grows with you without slimming down your wallet. See that? You slim down, your wallet does not. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free at our link in the description below, or go to fitbod.me/KFC. That's the link in the description, or go to Fitbod, FITBOD.me/KFC. 25% off your subscription.
I don't know what the implications are as far as when you say this person is a psychopath and I think he will do something again.
Yeah, Dave kept saying that.
Our
I don't
lawyers,
think it was making the argument he thought it
that's
was.
what I said. I'm like, Dave, this is making your argument worse.
He's like,
I would
psychopath. He's a lunatic. We have it too.
That's what was funny. I'm like laughing to myself while I'm trying to. His convoluted point is I don't have to worry about Nick Hammy throwing a can at someone strictly because Rico Bosco got away with it, because Nick Hammy's not a fucking psychopath. So like, there's nobody sitting around going, man, I wish I could really throw a can, but the only reason I don't is that I'll get in trouble. And then they go, oh, Rico did it and didn't even get in trouble, so now I'm going to throw cans around. You only do that if you're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you what it does do, if I was them, if I was Dave, I'd be worried about, and I hope, I don't even know if people have the balls to do this, but like, if you fucking email me or call me out publicly because like I didn't blog enough this week, or I didn't go to a ski house, or I didn't stay late for something, whatever, I'd be like, oh, that I get a public lashing, but this gets like a fucking, your 10th free pass. Like, fuck that. And he can say we treat different people at Barstool differently and all that, but eventually like people would be like, well then fuck this. Like, fuck how this place is run. That's insane.
It is. I think we've kind of gotten past our public lashes. I don't think they really happen anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't. I'm forever scared of Dave, obviously. So I think maybe I'm a little different. I'm always gonna be like, I'm so sorry, master. But
there'll always be some intimidation there, no matter what.
I think they're probably younger people who haven't been through the ringer and are probably just like,
well, then fuck this.
You're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, right.
It's like
right.
Like my mom when I was a kid. I'd get grounded all the time. I was never grounded for 10 seconds.
Right, I'll be right back out watching TV or
like,
playing.
All right, lady, sounds good.
Yeah, like, grounded.
That's like if Dave sent a mean email and I was someone who hasn't been, again, through everything, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Right,
so
sounds good.
I wouldn't even reply. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, you're going to fire me? Yeah, sure thing. No, you're fucking not. So, yeah, I mean, to not, like, I think he does understand the hypocrisy of it. He just doesn't really care about I
don't think we can call it hypocrisy because he just acknowledged
because he openly does it.
Like,
yeah,
no, it's
he's
different.
just like, it's different. I have a history with Rico, and so this is how it's going to be. It's not hypocritical. It is like anarchy. It's like,
it's chaos.
It's like, well, then I just don't even know what to say. Okay, so
it is like the hypocrisy again. It is. I don't think it's. I don't consider Dave a hypocrite because he's just like, yeah, no, I do it differently.
You know what it is? I think at the end of the day, the question is this bad for business?
This right now? No.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
And people being lazy, not doing sponsored events, not blogging enough, not recording enough podcasts. That's like, we're paying you money to do that. You're fucking with our bottom line, and you're being lazy, and you're basically like spitting in the face of the guys who built this thing. So you need to work harder. Versus this is probably better for, we got a shit ton of views and all that shit. Yeah. But what I think
this is bad for business. I think it's bad for
morale.
Company morale,
yes.
But I don't think that's ever been a concern here.
But that is the thing. Like, at what point, and I don't think we're at it, but at what point would you say this is so bad for the company morale, the company rules, the order that's in place? Like, if there was enough people really being like, I'm never going to listen to this guy ever again, he might think differently, but people will still listen to Dave. They will still be,
for sure.
You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, he can do this. Rico can stay. Barstool will keep rolling, and it's all like, everything's fine.
It'll be fine. It will be there. I think there is a. It's not. I think Dave called it a mini rebellion. I think it's just people disappointed. People are like this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Not that he's. I don't think it's that he's working here. I think it's just like that a person like that exists. Amongst us.
But I also do think it's embarrassing. Like, I hate that it's a part of Barstool. I hate that. Like, I mean, I'm such a lifer here that it's like whatever. But if I was like new and on the come up or something and was thinking about going to Barstool, I'd be like, I'm not going near this shit. This is for the birds, man. Like,
but it is good for it is like I think Dave is very upfront about how he operates. Clicks to clicks. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And he's been like, I don't really fucking care what you think about anything. Like, it is. I don't care if you're happy. I don't give. He said
Barstool's not a democracy. It's not. Never has been. Never will be.
I think Dan is similar, where he also is like, does it get numbers? I think Dan's a little less willing to admit it. Where Dave is just like outright like, yeah, no, it does numbers. I don't give a fuck.
Fucking care.
I mean, it's out there.
That will always be
just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
And I think that like this is the there's a bit of a, I guess, a lacking of the like consideration of human element. But we'll all get over it. Like, we're all adults.
That's the thing. Like,
I also by we're like, I'm not broken up about this. I think he's a scumbag piece of shit. Yeah. But I'm not like, how am I gonna work in these hallways?
It's like, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by the whole. I'm annoyed that he was a hypocrite and turned out to be the same guy that he always like said he wasn't, and then he was the some things are bigger than sports guy, and he's the biggest scumbag out there. I'm annoyed by like the hypocritical handling of Marty versus him.
That was a funny trend tweet during the High Council.
What he said.
He just goes, well, all right, let's figure this out first. Where's everyone going to sit?
Bro. When we were talking about moving the desks, when Dan was like, no, I will move a desk. It's like, oh my God, it's not about moving desks. And I'm just overall annoyed that like there's no rhyme or reason to like what can get a person, borderline, well, like almost fired or completely publicly fucking ruined or whatever. But I'm not like afraid of it. I'm not like it's not like offensive to me. I don't think it's wrong. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing here?
It is wrong. I'm gonna give that one. I'm not offended by it. It is wrong. I just think you're a scumbag piece of shit who is irredeemable.
I think also like the same way we tackle content is like when there's an incident, I'm gonna speak up for my opinion and what I think is right. And the fact that what is wrong is being like widely accepted by, or not widely accepted, but accepted by certain people is like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
It's like we were basically crying like Mark Brunell during fucking Deflategate over Marty and Rhea, and now this is just like, well, come on, we know the guy. Come on. I'm just, so it's just like anything else where I'm on the rundown arguing with Dan and Dave being like, no fucking way. It's, you know what it is? It's a great time for who's the biggest asshole. The game where you decide in certain social situations who's the biggest asshole. So I have a coworker who violated the terms of employment physically and emotionally, and but the bosses don't want to fire him because they like him a lot and they don't want him to be suicidal or poor. Who's the biggest asshole?
Guess what? I'm suicidal and poor, motherfucker. I gotta give a quick shout out to Mincy, who I think he's of the whack pack ilk. Just in the midst of all this, dropping an all-time blog.
I mean,
so Friday was Friday was
Could I have done more?
Fucking-
Yeah, probably.
Friday.
What?
Friday was so we started Rico kind of bled into the day.
Yeah.
Right, and then people were buying videos of Tommy Smoke sucking dick.
Yep. That was incredible.
People would probably just enjoy this video of me 13-minute videos sucking cock and getting fucked hard. And people were like, thanks, Tommy. Fucking Charlie Woods walk around part of my take club heads. Fucking Brady followed PFT at Hank's request.
Or his millionth follower.
How about this? Fucking this didn't even get brought up. $1 million worth of game got the key to the city of Philadelphia. All this drastically overshadowed that. Yeah, people at school tweeted it in the morning, and then chaos broke loose. So we didn't even get the fucking hats off to $1 million worth of game. Gillian Wallow,
yeah,
that's dope. And somehow the craziest thing was Mince's blog asking if he did a good job. Mince, no.
No. Definitively not. How about that, man? How about that? No. Next question. He wrote like 2,000 words on it. My reply, no. Next.
Mincy, again, a great member of the Laugh at Whack Pack. We're just like, Mincy just thinks when he's like doing the videos at baseball games that it's
the whole world's watching.
Like, just down here making content, man. What are we talking about?
I'd love to live.
What's happening to these goddamn companies? What are we talking about?
I know, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Hey, y'all. Down here, LSU baseball, 3-2 after the 6th. Check back in after the 7th. Boots on the ground, Mincy. Boots on the fucking ground, baby.
King of the South, dude. King of the South. So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we were kind of all over the place there, but it's like, it's a strange...
We did not stick to our scripts there.
No. No, but you know what it is?
A lot of improv going on.
You know what it is? It's actually what Barstool is on the whole. It's kind of what Answer the Internet is. It's kind of what KFC Radio is. It's like we take silly shit seriously, but we don't take it seriously. You know what I mean? So it's like I have a very strong opinion about this. I don't think he's done anything to deserve to stick around. I still haven't heard from him. I probably never will. Not that I feel like I need that, but it's kind of like, what are we doing here?
Probably tweeted at you from some other accounts.
I'm sure, yeah. I do not care if he just continues to do the Pick'em gambling podcast with Dan and Dave. This affects my life 0%. But I always, whatever the situation is, we always have like strong opinions. That's what we do here. And it's about like my company. It's about what we do here. So like, yes, I am super outspoken about this. I'm passionate about it. I believe in what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's like I'm lying, but at the end of the day, it's also just like Enrico's going to continue working here, and Monday will come, and we'll just go back to work.
Yeah, honestly, by the time this comes out Monday, it's probably like dead.
Yeah.
Dead horse about it.
Now, what I will say this:
we did 3 days on someone harassing a coworker's wife.
Yeah, people were legitimately.
Did you see the World Cup final, guys?
People were legit like, you're still talking about this. It's like this deserves a court trial. Okay, it should go to like the Supreme Court, and I'm not even kidding. We need rules in this country about using the internet like that.
It should be illegal to have anonymous burners. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
The apps that you can use to text people anonymously should be illegal.
I really want to make that our
it genuinely should be legal.
I want to make that
Fuck gun
our
control.
cause.
Fix this first.
Right. I want to make it our cause.
High school
App
kids
control.
don't know what I deal with.
Burner control. Like fucking anybody who does this shit to harass exes or new girlfriends and boyfriends and co-workers or daughters, your own children, as we saw on the fucking internet this week. Like it's stalk. It's the same thing as if you were like banging down someone's door and threatening and menacing and all those other all those other crimes should be the same fucking shit, man.
Listening to Audible on Alexa is the perfect hands-free companion when you're cooking, cleaning, or relaxing this holiday season. It is coming up fast, folks. You can ask Alexa to read your book, change narration speed, and even get a book recommendation from her. Families find listening on Alexa a great connection time to listen to holiday classics. Audible also recently launched Alexa in the Audible app, giving you hands-free navigation and discovery in the existing app. If you want to listen to Fear the Wolf by James Patterson, here's what you say. You say, Alexa, read Fear the Wolf. If you're looking for your next book, here's what you say. Say, Alexa, recommend me an audiobook. You missed something while listening, you can simply ask Alexa to go back 30 seconds. If you enjoy listening at a faster pace, you can say, Alexa, read faster. Alexa will do whatever it is you want her to do. Okay? Alexa customers can listen to James Patterson's new Power Family football thriller, Fear the Wolf. Just say, Alexa, read Fear the Wolf, now available for free on Alexa. Offer only available in the United States.
But there is an element of like, this is Barstool, baby.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a great chapter in the book. And also because this is a victimless crime. Like if Alex, if
Well,
Khan's
there's a victim
like,
here.
yes, but like I'm saying, like if let's say, like, by the way, and just to make it so clear, because I don't think a lot of people are saying it, like Khan's wasn't doing anything wrong. Like there was no truth to any of it. Their marriage is fine. But let's say that Rico was lying. Let's say that it like led to a divorce or something like that. Like that's a whole other fucking story. Right now we're just talking. Like you're lucky that nothing that you were wrong and being an asshole. Because if there was actual like consequences to it, I think I think it would be a whole different story. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is just like. Wow, another fucking truly rogue, deranged employee. Like, what's
Paycheck will clear in 2 weeks.
And it will clear fucking forever, man.
No. Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's wild, dude. It's absolutely wild. But I believe that we're gonna see a new look of Barstool when Dan goes to Chicago. Dave, is already permanently down in Miami. And
I never realized that he has like. I always felt a little weird when I was like, he's evading taxes, and even though he openly says it all the time, but I never realized he had a sign behind him that said tax haven. When I was watching the High Council, I saw it.
That's funny.
I imagine it's where he always sits for shows.
That's
it's just
hilarious.
like right behind him. Just
I
tax
never
haven.
noticed that. I think that there'll be like a split between like gambling and non-gambling. I think the people that stay in New York will be here and will kind of be the elder statesman, if you will, to run it. And I just think that was going to cause like that'll be a new chapter of Barstool anyway. And we just started it off with like a fucking atomic bomb.
Does Rico go to Chicago? No, he can't, right?
I don't know. He's not coming here though. Like, if it's up to me, there's no way that, you go do gambling wherever the gambling is, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I guess that'll be an interesting question. I don't know, like who will be running things and who will make those decisions. But in general, I just think it'll be a weird like. It was you know what it was? It was the turbo boost at the beginning of Mario Kart. If you hit it just right, you start off with the fucking.
Nah, I didn't play games. I really didn't play Mario Kart. I obviously
Mario
know
Kart?
the game.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? 3, 2, 1, and if you hit it right on it.
Press at the start of 2, you zoom.
Yeah, because if you hold it down, you spin out. If you try to just hold down your engine so you can go. I cannot believe you don't know this reference. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I played Mario Kart.
The point
before,
is
that
I just meant things were gonna change and we just like hyperdrived it. So we'll see where it ends up. But as far as like the short term and like what's the fate of the people involved, like nothing. It'll be the same. It'll be the same exact shit. And part of me thinks that's crazy, and part of me thinks that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
because that is what Barstool is.
It is crazy,
and
that's how it should be.
That is why we will. That's why we get paid the salaries we get paid. That's why we have the number of followers that we all have. That's why it's the biggest thing, and that's why there's nothing like it on the internet. Is that
of all the craziest things at Barstool? Where's this rank for you?
I was wondering that. I think
like of all things, fucking, I'm talking like everything that's ever happened in the last 15 years.
I think this is the worst behavior by an employee.
Oh, I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I think that this is. So, but in that sense, it like stands alone. Like,
yeah,
like because it's like
there are no comps.
Dave getting dragged out of the Super Bowl is like, but it's like that's
funny.
Yeah. This is the most like nefarious thing that's ever happened at Barstool.
It's up there.
That's known and talked about.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's more going on behind the scenes of other scumbags.
It's number one with a bullet.
Yeah, let's hope not.
I mean, number one with a bullet.
Let's hope there are. No bullets involved.
Watch out, third floor.
All right, so yeah, that's it. We'll see if anything more comes of it. As far as I'm concerned, this is like case closed, kind of. There's nothing. We've kind of talked in circles about the same things, and we've all made our points clear. I think everybody knows where we stand. I actually think that surprisingly, I don't think it's as much like this versus that when it comes to like me and Dan and Dave. Like, I mean, I made it clear that I don't agree with them on some parts, but like we said, I do think this is Barstool. So I think everything just goes back to the way it was, and hopefully just, keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be fast, so that's it.